How you doing, Jess?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Hashtag 371 ENT podcast, the best podcast in the country. Today is Friday. And we got a special guest, but before I talk about our special guest, I'm gonna give a shout out to Doc Irvin again over there at Dunbar High School for the Battle of the Bands. And I'm gonna give a shout out to blended coaches, my boy George Torres. He just left the building. And man, y'all get at me, man. You know, we the best podcast in the country. Y'all get at me, man. So today episode is about the Rick Roll scandal fashion show, which we gonna have all facts. It's gonna be nothing but facts on this podcast right now. You know, we're not trying to bash nobody. Everything is facts, and I want to know what went on. We got a special guest in the building, model Miss Jess.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming. You look very beautiful today.
Thank you.
Jess, you was participating in this Rick Roll's fashion show that started. When was casting called?
I can't recall a specific date. I remember, I think it was at either the end of August or beginning of September.
Right.
Around that time, but I feel like it was so long ago now that I don't remember.
Right. This Rick Rolls, and I'm familiar with Rick Rolls and what he was trying to do, which would have shocked our culture. You know what I'm saying? It would have put a real bright light over our culture. But to me, things seemed like it didn't go right. This thing seemed like it was just everything was like a money kind of scheme. What? Give me some info on what happened.
I mean, in my eyes, it was just a big scam in a sense, and I'm saying that just from like a personal standpoint and what I've seen and what I've experienced in this entire endeavor. And it started with a casting call, and for us models, all of a sudden you see a casting call. And all your friends are talking about it, all the people that you work with are talking about it, all the photographers that I know were messaging me, are you gonna go, are you gonna go? I originally was not planning on going, but one of my good friends was like, you gotta come through, like it's gonna be big. So
you quit?
No, I didn't quit. I went.
You went?
I went. Well, no, I did quit the day before.
Okay.
The day before the actual show, I quit.
Okay.
Because I went to the model call.
Okay.
And I walked, and they liked my walk, and then 2 days later, I got a call. I was like, okay, we want you part of our fashion show, which was Rick, and I was like, oh, cool, like, this is gonna be great, like, I'm excited.
Right.
And he hyped it up so much. Like, he had, from what he said, he's like, I've got celebrities coming, people coming from California, this is gonna be huge, we've got, this is gonna be a huge marketing event and networking for all of you guys.
Right.
And so he had us come in and do a fitting, and he had us sign a contract, an NDA, stuff like that, saying that we would make 20% off of what outfits we wore were sold. So if like an outfit we were wearing was sold, we make 20% off of each outfit that was sold.
Right.
Granted, he in our contract stated that he would provide all the clothing for the models. Right. And come the week of, I mean, we've been rehearsing for every single week.
I went to a couple of, I think 2 rehearsals, and he was like I said, I'm not bashing him, but he was like really hard on some of these models.
Yes.
And I don't know too much of the photographers or videographers, but I know some of the models. I heard Rick talk, and I'm like, well, damn, I'm thinking, okay, he put a lot of money behind this thing, and maybe he earned the right to talk to some of the models. Like, but I never knew this scandal was going on. No. This was going on. Like, have you heard him? Like, I heard he touched some of the girls in an inappropriate way.
I have not experienced that myself.
Okay.
I did in some of our group chats with the girls, some of them did mention that he did touch them inappropriately, or he made very inappropriate gestures or statements towards them.
Wow.
Again, I personally cannot attest because I did not have that happen to me, but I did not spend very much one-on-one time with him. I never spent any one-on-one time with him.
When did you know things was going like left?
So my first red flag that kind of put me on thin ice with him was one of our rehearsals where one of the models, I guess some miscommunication happened somewhere, and he decided to publicly shame him, pretty much. And like in the big group of us, he is talking about, like, we don't know who he's talking about at first. He's just like, one of you guys has disrespected me, this and that, and like saying how like you know, we're in this together, and if we're gonna be in this together, we need to be in 100%. And if someone's gonna start, you know, talking behind his back or disrespecting him, and he asked all this, he's like, okay, what do we do? Like, what do we do with someone like that? And all of us were like,
Are you serious?
like in the group of 50 plus people.
Right, you shaming somebody.
He's shaming somebody, and all of us are like, gosh, like, what could you have done to like make him this mad?
Yeah.
And all of us were quiet. Like, no one wanted to say anything. And then you hear one girl in the back go, fire him. And you're like, whoa, okay. And he looks at the model and goes, you're fired.
Wow.
And this kid he's 20 years old. He's never modeled before, ever. This is his first experience in modeling in the fashion industry and the entertainment industry
So
as
they
it
kind
is.
of like put him like.
I mean, he starts crying.
Yeah.
The kid was like crying, and you just couldn't help but feel bad for him. And you're like, gosh, what could he have done? And then he, you know, Rick keeps talking about him, and the kid goes, well, you don't even know what happened. Like, he, you know, said, wait, like, this person said this, and like, I got misinformation, like, that's why this happened. And so finally, Rick pulls him aside, like, in the middle of all this, he said, okay, go outside. So they both go outside. A little bit later, Rick comes back in and says he had a conversation with the model and that he's allowed to stay. And then later comes forward, instead of apologizing directly to the model, comes back in the group and apologizes to the group, you know, to the model, being like, oh, I'm sorry, there was miscommunication. For me, that's a demeanor thing. Like, that shows like who your true character is. So that was my first red flag. That's where I kind of got like a little upset for him.
Right.
Why I kind of kept my boundaries up and my, you know, like, I don't know if I really want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And so we give it time. It's the week of the show. That Monday we had our dress rehearsal. At the dress rehearsal, some of the models were missing. We're like, all right, whatever, you know. But then he goes, the shoes didn't come in. We go, oh, the shoes didn't come in. He gave us this design in our group chat of these nice Italian leather heels, like these kind of stiletto looking things.
Right.
And they look beautiful, and all of us are hyped up. Like, when you see these, you think, oh my gosh, like, I can't imagine, like, these are what the shoes are.
Right.
I can't imagine what the clothing's gonna be like.
Right.
He still hasn't shown us any designs. He's telling us
He's
telling us it's gonna be a surprise.
Right.
So, and we haven't gone for a second fitting yet. So I was like, okay, like, you know, maybe this week sometime we'll do them. But then he says the shoes didn't show up and they're on back order, and he placed the order 8 weeks ago. Later to find out, during the day of the show, someone leaks information saying that he actually ordered those shoes off of Wish.com. Wish.com, you know, from like China, like the cheap China stuff. Yeah.
You probably get it like 4 years later.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
It comes like maybe the next year, 4 months,
Right.
8 months later, you know.
Right.
You never know when that stuff's gonna show up.
Right.
But we're like, Wish.com, like,
Right.
is that really?
He never had any sketches. He never
had any sketches.
I seen on one of your lives he had the Izod.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
eyes on pants.
Right.
So I'm assuming that was his last ditch effort when he realized that how deep of a hole he dug for himself and he could not get out of.
Right.
He probably went to JCPenney's or like Macy's and got these eyes on pants and sewed his logo into the ankles of these pants.
Are you really? Are you
And gave them to the male models. I was like, here, you guys are wearing this.
And what about the shirts that I heard he tore the shirts tags off?
Yeah.
And
So I never got any of the clothing, but I do have the clothing now. It's in my car.
Right.
From one of the other models, and they said that, you know, they were starting handing out shirts, and they said just cut the tags off. Just cut the tags off. It's got his logo on them. There's plain black T-shirts.
Right.
And they're like, just cut the logos off. It's fine. And so there, you go to those shirts that I have in my car.
Mhm.
There's no tags on them.
Mhm.
There's no logos. There's not even a wash tag on it. Like how to wash it. Like they cut all the tags off.
So I want to say, or do you think this guy stayed in prison 15 years just thinking of this shit? Like,
You know,
just thinking of I'm gonna scam everybody in Fort Myers, and I'm gonna do it at one of the biggest place downtown, the Sidney Barney Art Davis Center. Like, I have to say, like, this guy, like, he has some type of mental issue.
I think his thing when he was in prison was learning how to smooth talk.
He's a smooth talker.
He's really good at smooth talking. He's
Yeah.
really good at talking, that's
Yeah.
for sure. He's really good at getting
Yeah.
what he wants by word of mouth and like
Right.
figuring out, you know, like he's got this demeanor. He's got a friendly presence, but after a while it just kind of.
You have enough time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I seen him in an interview like on Instagram. I guess I don't know if Rick still stays here or he lives in Atlanta or whatever.
I've heard rumors that he's moved on to Atlanta. I've also heard
Right.
rumors that he's on probation until January. So.
Oh,
There's a lot of information that has been leaked around lately. Not stating that any of it is facts, because again, like I said, they're rumors. But this is information that we've been heard, that's been circling through the grapevine, and it has to stem from somewhere.
So only thing what came out of all this is like you guys like coming together like a family, or networking. Y'all network together.
Yeah.
Cause he really didn't really do nothing.
Yeah, I think overall, like for us, it was a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
The takeaway I got out of this was, I wanted to use this as a way to show people what not to do, what the industry, the music industry, the arts industry, everything, the entertainment industry is not like. And unfortunately, he did put like a bad taste in people's mouth for what it could be like.
Right.
Some people, again, like this was their first experience, but I think like I said, it's a learning experience. And at the end of the day, we did come together and we did create some really solid friendships and foundations for new artwork and new ways to network between ourselves and Fort Myers, and to level each other up here in Fort Myers. And just like the models coming together, the photographers, I've been seeing so many of us like working and creating new content for like Instagram, for even videography. Like it's great to see like how we didn't let this triumph overcome us.
Y'all made the fashion show look good. Like really, it was like over like 30 models, 40 models, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I witnessed all y'all walk and stuff like that. Y'all really, I know it was gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be a night to remember, and y'all made it look good. I don't know about quite seeing you there, but I know I've seen some of the models there, and there was one girl who stood out. I don't know. She always walked at the end.
Oh yeah, Jules.
Okay, Jules.
Yeah.
So
she did the interview with me the other day for Fox News.
Okay.
Yeah.
And shout out to Fox News too, man. Shout out to Sharita Davis.
Sharita Davis. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, bless that woman.
Shouts out to her, man.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she has some type of event coming up too that I'll be at.
An appreciation party
Right.
for all of the models,
So
for
you
all of
going?
I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be there. I can't stay the whole time. My boyfriend does have like his work party afterwards, but I'm gonna be there as long as I can. I've got like my gown picked out and everything. I'm so excited. Like I cannot wait to see everybody again, and just to actually take something so horrendous and then make it something so good. And Sharita has done an amazing job putting all this together and really making us feel appreciated, and that our time and efforts didn't go to waste. That all these hours that we spent practicing, rehearsing, spending time getting fitted. Like some of the models, I feel so bad for them. The week of the show, he told us to come in for fitting. Some people sat there for 12 hours waiting to get fit, and they never got fit. And then the day of the show, he was like, "Oh, just throw on a t-shirt." And you were like, "Why did I waste all this time?" Some people lost their jobs because they dedicated their time to this fashion show because they believed in it that much that they were like, their jobs were like, "We need you here." And they're like, "Well, I have prior obligations."
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the story because, like I said, I'm not bashing Rick. He's definitely a smooth talker. I like the way he talks. But when I said I reached out to you, we did the podcast. Rick called me. Rick talked to me. He's like, "Man, I'm going downtown, having a party. I want you to come down, have a couple of drinks." And I thought Rick was gonna kill me. I don't know. I don't know. It could have been a possibility. I could have been dead or something. But
he does have an attempted murder charge on him.
Yeah, there is.
While he was in prison.
Yeah, so you never know what people might do, and
And I hate to think the worst of people. I think that everybody deserves a second chance,
Right.
in society.
Right.
And that's why they let him out, because
Right.
he showed that he had good demeanor,
Right.
and but still, you gotta always keep a fence up, because you never know, anybody could.
Right.
There's people out here killing their own children. You
Right.
never know. You gotta put you
Exactly.
keep a fence up around something.
You definitely gotta keep a fence up. Like I said, you said what you got out of all this. Y'all came together and stuff like that. They really he said something about a magazine, or something like that. What was that?
God.
He offered or something like that.
So his apology after we made him go on my live stream.
Right.
I think it was one of the videographers that told him, "Hey, dude, if you do not go on this,
Clear this up.
if you do not go on this, it's gonna look really bad." And then when he did come on and he made his little Travis Scott apology, after making another Fire Festival incident of a fashion show instead of a festival, but I think his apology was just so insincere and so weak and pathetic. And then he goes, well, even before he apologized, he goes, "Well, I'm gonna put out an apology in the newspaper." Instead of apologizing to us, at first he said, "I'm gonna put it in the newspaper." Then he says, "Oh, I'm gonna get us a spot on Shein magazine." I'm like, who reads Shein magazine, number one, but number two, you really think we're gonna believe you?
Right.
After this, we believed you, and
Right.
we put so much faith in you for like this many months, and put all our time and efforts into this.
Right.
You really think we're gonna believe that you're gonna try to put like make an effort to put us in a magazine? And NMB magazine is like Shein magazine, like you know what Shein is? Shein is cheap Chinese clothes that we buy off an app. Great, I wear half of their clothes, but it's because it's cheap.
So you want to put y'all in a cheap place, but he said something about the Super Bowl. He was going to be. You heard about that too?
No, I didn't hear about that, but I laugh at the thought of that.
Yeah, he said he was
You
going to
think
be in
he
the
can-
Super Bowl, some kind of fashion show.
Oh no.
And I told Rick, because I wanted. I'm not a very rich guy, but I did pay almost $200 for my suit. I want my money back.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody get their money back?
I've heard maybe 2 people got their money back, but I know a lot of people did not.
Wow.
I know he still hasn't paid quite a few people, some of the videographers, some of the photographers.
Wow.
He still hasn't paid quite a few people back. And I'm thinking, so he said he walked out of this with $600. You can go onto my live stream and see. He said he walked out with $600. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you didn't pay for the Sidney Burns Davis
Didn't
Center.
pay for it.
You had people, like one of the videographers paid for a lot of stuff for this event. Like he didn't pay for any of the the material for the clothing.
Right.
Like the 5-year-old clothing that, he put
Right.
out. Could have made that in whole neck back in middle school.
Right.
This guy didn't pay for anything. And so I'm
That's-
thinking, and
that's
he was
what
telling
that
us, he's like, oh, I spent thousands of dollars getting your headshots and pictures taken. I said, that's BS. Because I know from, I
You
know
say
these,
bullshit.
I said, that's bullshit. That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you're telling us, because that was during our first rehearsals, like, he was like, oh, I spent all this money getting your pictures taken and all that for marketing for this event. And I'm like, show me the receipts.
Right.
Because, like, I know the videographers. I'm friends with the videographers and photographers, and as far as I'm concerned, like, that nobody's getting paid yet. And at the end of the day, like, he charged people $85 to $200 per ticket, and
Right.
people aren't getting their refunds.
Right.
I've seen maybe 2 people get their refunds, and it took them like a week and a half of them begging.
Estimate what you think he made.
Oh, God. So there was a good, like, 40, 50 people in that crowd, right?
Right.
At minimum.
Right.
When I walked in at 9, and he was there, and I'm sure people had left before that.
Right.
So take that times maybe
It's like a $100 ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's made at least like, I want to say like, my math is not good, but I'm gonna say a minimum of like 10 grand, like 5 to 10
I
grand.
was gonna say about 10 grand.
Yeah.
I was gonna say about 10 grand, easy, because he didn't pay for the venue. He had sponsors from people that I do know. He even brought out people that I knew that don't ever come out. And that was kind of big, and I'm like, well, this gonna be a big event, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and then all the models, like, I'm like, damn, it's, some nice models.
He got some of us were like pretty big, like Solange. She's
Right.
got like a really good following on Instagram. She's got like she's gorgeous. She works for the same agency that I do, and I'm not that big. I've only got like a couple thousand, but like still, like he's got a lot of people on there. Like Jules is absolutely gorgeous. She's so talented, and like they have, like I said, he's got so many people that and then he promised all these big names. I don't know the girl's name. She came in last.
She was the daughter of a football player.
Yeah, the daughter of a football player, saying that she was a big famous person. None of us have ever heard about her.
Right.
He's telling us that she's a celebrity, and she's supposed to walk with us. We're all practicing. Like some of the models were really mad because at the end of the day, the ones that did stay and did follow through till 11 o'clock at night when he did finally show up. She went out and did her own little dance, walking out as if it was some silly little.
It's like some show,
silly show, like clown show, like. And all these girls are like, we literally practiced and perfected this walk for you to just come out and shit on us.
That's crazy.
And do whatever the hell you want.
That's
like
crazy.
it's just not. It's not professional. It's not. I don't know.
It's not. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: keep grinding. Keep it. That's my motto. I've seen some of your pics. You're a very good model.
Thank you.
I don't know what you want. You want to say anything, Rick? Because I know you're gonna watch this. Well, we're gonna keep it on the hush. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah. No. What I want to say is, Rick, I really hope that one day you have a change of heart, and I hope that one day you can realize the destruction that you're causing in different cities to different people, and you stop. You finally say, okay, I've done enough damage. I have hurt enough people, I've wasted enough people's time, that maybe I should finally stop and maybe pursue something else. Put your passions towards something that you might actually be good at. And fashion's not the one, because there's a lot of people that just got caught in the wave that you're riding, and we're down on the beach drowning, you know. So please, I really hope one day that you see the destruction that you're creating, and that you have a change of heart, and that maybe you can find it in your heart to be a better person.
Take that with a box of chocolate Rick Rose. And I'm saying it right now. Get your life together, brother. Do something for yourself. Jess just told you. We salute you, Jess, and all the models. We love you. Hashtag 371ENT podcast, the best podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes. Oh man, Rick is an asshole.
You asshole.